Genshin Impact. I like this, that, those, and them, so this guy showed up and gave me this, and after an hour I was here. But why was I here? This game has been out for nearly 5 years at this point, and it still hasn't died out, so I really need to investigate and see what all the hype is about. I will be playing through the introduction quest and will sprinkle my opinions throughout the video. Enjoy. The game starts with a boy and a girl, and before I'm introduced to any characters, an absolute baddie shows up and starts wrecking shit. Of course, the hot ones are always evil, so now we have to fight. Ultimately, I have to make the decision if I'm going to play as the cute waifu or the nonchalant dude, and I know there's going to be more baddies in the future, so I'm going to stick with the dude for now. Inadvertently, my sister immediately dies, but I didn't even know her name, so it's not that sad.
Wow.
Also, let's take a second to appreciate how much this place looks like Skyworld from Smash. Like, I'm expecting Ike and Pit to come out at any moment and just start duking it out. I must have named my character Gojo, because I immediately get trapped in a cube and sent to another world. This world, to be exact. I am greeted by Paimon, a character who promises to be my guide and help me find my sister. After a long yap session, I am taken here to the Statue of the Seven. This statue allows me to unlock the map, get OP, and I don't really know what else yet, but we will find that out later. I'm then immediately ganked by some slimes, but with my new god powers, I just clean them out with ease, and they weren't that much of a problem. After I have a moment to catch my breath, I finally look at the free rewards I got, and then I go into the character level and decide to level up with said rewards. Now, I didn't mean to, but I almost hit the level cap at this point. Now that I'm over leveled, I decide to go back to adventuring, and I find a chest. I am then immediately interrupted by a big-ass dragon. Of course, we follow the dragon into the woods where we see him talking to this green guy. After passing some ethereal wind though, they both decide to bounce, and I really can't blame him. But he didn't leave us empty-handed. He left behind a little space turd, and now we get to use this, and this is going to be a part of the plot. With our shiny new turd, we decide to head into the city before getting ganked by what appears to be a bunny girl? So Bunny Girl's named Amber, and Amber wants us to help clear a camp for her, so we're going to do that. She joins our party, and this is the core mechanic of the game that you collect 4 characters, they join you and do adventures, and you can swap between them, they all have different abilities. While I was trying to complete this quick little tutorial on how to shoot my bow, I somehow missed this shot. That hit on my screen, I don't know, bro. We go to the camp that Amber had a hit on, and we clear them out with relative ease and take their loot. On our way back, we're basically forced to come talk to Lynn, who wants us to cook for her. So I play their little mini game, which seems to be the easiest game I've ever played in my life, and we got a free level up. We finally make it to Mondstadt, the first city in the game, and wow, this opening cutscene really does paint the picture of what this game has to offer visually. Absolutely stunning game, the atmosphere, the visuals, and from what I've seen, it only gets better the later in the game you get. So let's hope nothing bad happens to this city. Well, the dragon's back, and it's decided the city is what it's going to destroy next. Obviously, I'm not going to let that slide, so I take the longest boss fight I've ever done in my life and eventually take it down. We are then introduced to Kaya, who just sat there and watched me kill the boss, and he didn't help at all, so...
Oh wow. So I love how this I love how the commenter and most likely the creator of this video is able to use comedy in these bits to simplify the complexity of this world because it's a lot easier to understand with him doing this. And he was right. The city was absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous city. Very impressive graphics. You can tell that the creators of this game spend a lot of money to really immerse you into the world or immerse you into this environment by making it seem obviously having that anime isekai type of feel to it, but it still looks like as far as the architecture like realistic and believable. Like you can actually reach out and touch the textures and the materials in this world. It's really good. It's really good. And the anime theme is a stylistic choice that's supposed to appeal to a certain demographic, or a certain target market that want to see characters that look like this. But the architecture is obviously based on realism.
the boss, and he didn't help at all, so thanks Kaya. Frozen takes us to the Knights of Favonius, which is a group in Mondstadt trying to take down Storm Terror. They ask us politely to go clear some dungeons for them, so I guess we'll do it. We got nothing else going on. Temple number 1. Nothing too much with this one. Amber has some fire things going on. We blow up some barrels, we learn how fire works, and we clear this one with relative ease. Temple 2 comes up. This one's with Kaya, and unironically, the Frozone joke I made earlier is actually quite true, because he can make ice bridges. Pretty neat. Thought we were going to have a boss fight at the end, but then this guy shows up and absolutely demolishes him, and I really want to play this guy, so I hope he comes up later. 2 down, 1 to go, so we meet up with Lisa.
Hey, cutie.
Oh my god.
You're going to help me out, too? How kind of you.
Safe to say at this point, I was going to do anything in the world to make sure this one was done as quickly as possible to help out Mommy Lisa, so I demolished everything and it cleared it out and we were good to go. Make it back to Mondstadt, and while I'm walking around the city, Paimon stops and asks for some toast, but I think this quest fully bugged out because she immediately says that I have the toast and like doesn't say anything else about it, so it's a small indie company. Of course, there's a couple bugs here and there. Continuing on with my adventure, I find this little challenge area, and I decide to start the challenge. Unbeknownst to me, I am absolutely terrible at the game, and I could not complete the challenge. So from here, my adventure got fully derailed, and I started going through menus and trying out characters, and just doing a bunch of random stuff. Now, I tried this thing, I know this is called the Spiral Abyss, and it's like the main dungeon endgame thing that you're supposed to go through, and I got thrown in a party of 4 people that I never knew how to use, and I looked terrible. I ended up beating the challenge, but I know this might be very hard to watch for some people, so I apologize. But it was kind of fun to see what the endgame could look like. But trying to get back to the main story, I started doing the one last side quest I had, and that would get me to level 10, so I'd be able to unlock the continuing story. Of course, I didn't hit level 10 though, and had to do one more side quest, so Kaya tells me this story about an ancient sword his grandfather buried, and now we have to go on a treasure hunt to find it. He sends us off to meet an informant to give us the first clue. Of course, she's getting ambushed, so we have to do the right thing and clear them out so we can get the information, but she was so gracious and kind to give us the information for free after, so it worked out. This intel takes us to the top of Windmill in Mondstadt, where we find a chest lingering at the top, so after some Assassin's Creed, we're finally able to grab it and look at the map that'll take us to the next clue. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This got pretty bad, to the point where I couldn't find this thing after 30 minutes, and I refused to look at the wiki. Now, my next reaction wasn't the thing I'm most proud of, but it's what happened, and we kind of gotta live with it. We're back for the second day, and I immediately found the chest within 10 minutes. I was overreacting. Found it, got the map, we're on to the final location. I hope. For some reason, the final location actually has a marker on the map, so it just directly takes you there. But there was no sword all along, and Kaya lied to us, so that's sad. Anyways, giant robots to kill. This guy was pretty easy. Of course, it's not Genshin Impact though if we're not gonna go do another dungeon. However, good things about this one. This one had me flying around like a B-2 bomber, dropping bombs on everybody. It was a really interesting mechanic. And then afterwards, I went to a puzzle room and had to unlock some water stuff, and it actually made Amber feel useful. Overall, this was a pretty good dungeon. I hope more of the dungeons keep following this pattern. We make it back to Mondstadt. Jean's getting pulled up on by some foreign diplomats. It's basically saying we suck and we can't protect the town and that we should leave it to them. Obviously, we aren't going to let that slide, so it's time for the Power Rangers to get back together. We discussed our options, and I finally decided to tell them about the sky poop I've been holding in my pocket, but it's apparently so powerful that I'm the only one that can hold it, so that works out for me. Outside the meeting, I see the Green Ranger running away, like he didn't want to participate or something, so it's probably best to hunt him down. After literally running around the entire city, I finally track him down to where I started at, and then Bro completely ignores me and tells the group about a story of dragons. Bro immediately runs away again, so we have to track him down by this tree, and I want to ask him questions about how I get these god powers. Then I'm interrupted by another one of these wind bosses. I literally can't catch a break in this game. Well, this guy's Joker and I'm Batman because he decides to run away again, so now I've got to hunt him down, but this time he gives me a little quest. He wants me to break into this bank and steal his magical bard thing, so I guess we're doing this now. Just like the Arkham games, I am now sneaking around the facility, trying not to get caught, but these guys literally don't have their eyes open, and I make it to the vault pretty easily. Of course, nothing can ever be that easy in this game, and one of the international spies shows up and takes it away from us, so it's time to bounce. Now, fugitives from the law, we decide to hide out in a nearby tavern where Redhead is actually named DeLuke, and he's pretty chill dude, kind of covered for us for the law, so we didn't get caught. Well, we immediately get caught by Jean, and she wants us to go recover it. Now, I know a thing or two about Genshin at this point, so I know we're about to go do a dungeon. Call me the Prophet of Mondstadt at this point because I f***ing knew it.
Wow, this game is pretty. It's an amazing game to look at, but you have to be really committed to progress in a game like this. There's so much, so many missions, so many quests, so many challenges, and some people love. This is called in games like this. It's called grinding. We have to complete all these tasks to level up and get gear and get weapons and get all the um, all the finer aspects of the universe. Um, as far as everything I just said, you have to play for a long period of time and dedicate so much effort to everything. it's probably better like going to the game like this, so you have obviously complete the main story and the main quests. But as far as like the side quests and getting like the limited edition armor or the rare pieces of loot, it's probably best to have a plan, because if not, you're never going to leave the house. You're going to be in your basement or in your man cave or wherever you play your game at. I'm kind of being a bit gender bias here, but your gaming cave. That's a broader term. Your gaming cave, just playing this game, and you won't call your friends. Your mom won't hear from you, or your dad, or your family member won't hear from you for weeks and months, because you've been spending so much time trying to progress in this game. So it's scarily familiar, because I played Destiny 2, and it is scarily familiar how recognizable the grind is in this game. Like, oh man, I can tell the people play this game who are hardcore in it. They don't see sunlight for weeks. They don't see sunlight for weeks, and oh man, it's just I can just imagine. I can just imagine what they go through in order to be the best and the best, be the best of the best in this game. I can only imagine.
I've been looking forward to try this guy out for a while, so I tried him on some trash, and wow, does he feel quite overpowered. We end up tracking down the magical instrument to this guy right here, and he's protecting it with his life, so I make short work of his life and end up styling on him in the end with this last little bit of power I have. I'm gonna miss you, redhead. But we grab the magical instrument and take it back to Venti, and Venti kind of just goons over it and he likes it, but apparently it's unholy and needs to be purified, so we need to go get more of the sky poops. On the way, I got distracted again and saw one of these guys that actually killed me last time, so I quickly took my revenge and stole his loot. Not knowing if it was a dungeon or not, decided to sneak up on the right side, and it's a good thing I did, because I see this massive guy in the background. So I decided now is probably the time I should learn how to use my characters, so I practiced some elemental reactions. I read the combat guide a little bit and took him down with relative ease, and it was kind of nice, actually feeling like I did something. Afterwards, he gave me another dragon poop, and I was able to go on my way. On my way to the second location, I thought about doing a little bit of science. And it was quite fun. So even though I just spent that whole time practicing in the last one, I immediately get into this one and have my first death of the game. So after figuring out how to res my character, I get right back into it. Now this felt like playing Hyrule Warriors with the amount of enemies that were on my screen,
Yeah,
but eventually after
it
getting in the
is
swing of it, I do manage to take them all out and we continue on. We get the second unpurified poop and are ready to go to the third. So pull up to the third. It's another one of these wind things. I've killed 2 of these things before, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, well that immediately went sideways. It's time to level up. So I juice her out to level 20 and then we're on our way. Too easy. Dungeon time! Now I have to say, this one looks way better than the last ones I've seen, so I do appreciate the visual quality on this one. Going through this dungeon, I noticed there was a big pile of water there, so I thought what better than throw them in, and I really like this game mechanic where you can throw the fire ones in the water and extinguish them. It really works. At the end of the dungeon, there's a massive elevator to head up to the top, and this thing took forever, so I decided now's the best time to go pee, and there's a lower difficulty button. And who would need that shit? We make it through the boss, and there's another Final Fantasy wizard, but he comes down pretty easily, and we make our way up to the top of the dungeon. And we claim the final poop. And now we can meet up with the gang and see how we're going to defeat the dragon. Also, so pretty, by the way. Purify the poop, and now it's time to recharge the magical instrument so he can serenade the dragon. We get this cool little UI, it looks way cooler than cooking, and now it should be purified. Now, just in case this thing goes sideways, we need to find a good location to take out the dragon, just in case Venti can't secure it. So I give the idea to go back to where we started. And that start was this massive cliff. Now, at this point, I'd been playing the game for over 16 hours after clearing dungeons, listening to every bit of dialogue. Yes, I didn't skip a thing. I started to realize how important this was and how actually excited I was to go find this dragon. Before I did, I wanted to see the sheer size of the world, and I have to say, I have not explored anything so far. I thought I was pretty far, but it seems like I am nowhere. And also, the thing I'm looking at right now, that's a hill. That's no hill. But alas, it was finally time to face off against the dragon. First off, Venti wanted to do his song, but I just had a feeling things were going to go sideways and it was about to be an all-out battle. And oh boy, did this cutscene get me ready for it. Seeing the animations and everything, I wanted to fight this guy badly. I knew I was probably going to get my ass kicked, but I still wanted to do it. Bro, there ain't no way. Yeah, so he bailed. So the dragon's gone, and afterwards I get a cutscene of my sister apparently in charge of the dragons and all the things I've been fighting for this whole time. And I would love to keep playing to find out what happens next, But the game didn't really give me any choice since I need to be adventure rank 18 to continue on with the story, and I am 5 levels off of that right now. So it looks like I do have to take a break and grind some side quests. But I'm
Yep.
not going to do that right now because after 16 hours of this game just to get edged along with this story, I'm losing my absolute mind. So I'm going to do it again in another video. Genshin Impact. I like this, that,
Oh,
those, and them, so this guy showed up and gave me this, and after an hour I
wait, did it just start the video over again? Okay. Well, ah, that was my introduction to Genshin Impact, and the world seems fantastical. I'm pretty sure that, as expected, there's a lot of spoilers in this. It's for the entire first 16 hours of the game. Um, I'm really impressed by the the playstyle and the characters and how epic the story is building up the conclusion or building up the finale. I'm not sure how far they're going to extend this, because if it's keeping players hooked for 5 years, they had to have added like a lot of different expansions, other characters, more armor, more gear is a more broad term, more weapons, more. I'm not sure if I said that already. More abilities and more plots, more side quests, and I'm pretty sure people are going to be playing this for many years to come, and they could always update it, et cetera, to keep people hooked for even longer. They do the same thing in Destiny 2. It's extraordinarily addictive, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna give this a try because again, I kind of don't want to get hooked to a game again. I kind of don't want to get addicted to a game again, so I've gone through that already. But we'll see what the future holds. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Um, Keep it civil. I know some people are very passionate about Genshin Impact, but I do want to hear what you guys have to say. I do want to hear your opinions. I do want to hear your stories. If you have like a story of you playing this game and how passionate you were about it, please leave it in the comment section. I've been on AdClear, and you guys have been amazing. Take care.